want to make this video, but I'm going to, because the topic that I'm talking about up until today was frankly no one's business. I don't want to make it your guys' business. If nobody watches this, it's not going to affect me, but it's the shit that needs to be said. Now, I've always kind of had a turbulent relationship with my father, because when my father was young, when I was younger, and obviously my father would be younger, he was a hardcore alcoholic. And when he was married to my mom, it turned abusive quick. Now, I'm going to try keeping my composure here, because frankly, I don't want to cry. Frankly, I don't want to be upset. I'm pissed off. I'm always pissed off. But this needs to be said. And so yeah, it was abusive and whatnot. So he started cheating on my mom, I'd say probably around the time that I was 5 years old, give or take. That's when she started noticing that he was out later, he was doing this or that, there were a lot more people hanging around the house. And of course, I'm 5 years old, I don't know why he's bringing all these women over to the house. So then he decides that he's gonna leave my mother. Now, at this time, it was me, who was 6 years old, Harley, who was 4, and Devin, who was 2. So he left my mom with her 3 children, single mother with 3 boys, growing up in Brainerd. Now, he just disregarded us as if we were trash, and they got divorced by the time I was 8. So around 2nd grade, and 2nd grade's about the time that the 9/11 attacks had happened, and my uncle died 3 days after 9/11. So 2001 was just a emotionally charged year, especially for all that shit that had happened. My parents got divorced, 9/11 happens, my uncle dies. My uncle died on my dad's birthday, so go figure, it's a shit day. And so 8 years old, he gets remarried, makes me be in his wedding. I don't want to be in his wedding. I thought my parents loved each other. Hey, shit happens, man. I thought, you know, oh, I'll forgive him. He's my dad. There's no way I could hate him for my entire life. So when he got remarried, it got to the point where I never seen my dad. My dad completely cut all ties with me. Didn't want to see me, didn't want to take me for the weekends. And it got to the point where I didn't even want to go to his house, because I would become so disconnected from my own father that I wanted absolutely nothing to do with him. So I'm just trying to, you know, live my life. His wife didn't like us. He didn't want to be around us. So Devin grows up without his dad. No kid should grow up without their parents both loving them. Nobody should grow up with the thought that their parents don't love them, or one of their parents doesn't love them. My mom did a damn good job raising her 3 boys to the best of her ability. Now, yeah, it gets tough. But my mom, she's a fighter. That's the James side. They're always fighters. I'm proud of my last name. I can't change my last name, and I'm not going to change my last name, because I've always been an animal, and to me, that means that I'm a fighter. That means that I will continue living on no matter what anybody's perception of me is. You could call me an asshole, you could call me this, that, fat ass, what the fuck ever you want to call me. That doesn't change the fact that I know who I am, and I know what I stand for as a person. Now, I grow up without him, and I raised by my mother to be who I want to be, who I want to be perceived as, and who I feel I am. So I get to be about 16 years old, and my dad is getting a divorce from his 3rd wife. My mom was his 2nd wife. So, you know, he's got a good track record with marriages. And they're going through that divorce. He comes back from I was 14 at this time when he was going through a divorce with his 3rd wife. He comes back from Afghanistan. Now, I understand. I respect him as a soldier, but I do not respect him as a father. And I will never respect him as a father, because he is not my father. He is a man that was there for 6 years of my life and then just completely drop me like I'm a piece of fucking trash. So, yes, I respect the soldier side of him, but I do not respect the fatherly side of him. And so, as I'm 14 years old, he comes back from Afghanistan. He's home for almost a month. Do you know how many times I've seen him in that time that he was back? None. He was, the day before he was getting shipped out, and I messaged him and I go, hey Dad, when are you coming to see me? I miss you. And he goes, oh, well, I'm getting shipped out tomorrow. And instantly, my heart drops, tears form in my eyes. Why didn't my dad want to come see me? Comes back from a war zone, doesn't want to see his son. What kind of person is that? Those are your kids. They love you. And you just drop them. And at 14 years old, that never feels good. See, I said I was going to try keeping my composure, but I can't. And so, I'm like, whatever. You're not even, I can't even respect you as a father. And you go, well, I got a lot going on. Yeah, and you had a month to come see us. I asked for 1 day, and I'm just completely thrown in the trash. Now, I mean, everyone at 14 is a little emotionally charged, but seeing that and just hearing and just imagining that your own father doesn't want to come see you, he's fighting a war, and he comes home, and he just disregards his kids like they were never born. Absolutely trash of a fucking human being. Now, I forgave him for it because he's going to war. I understand what it's like. But at 14, it still hurts. Fucking trash in my car. At 14, you don't get over something like that. That's the shit that scars you for your entire life. Devin didn't even know about it. Harley didn't know anything about it. I knew that my dad came home because I could comprehend that he was home. At this time, Devin's 10 years old. He didn't even know that my dad was his dad. He had no idea that that was his dad. He would constantly say, Austin, your dad is here. And I'd have to tell him, Devin, he's your dad too. Devin did not regard to him as his father. And that's why I get pissed off when Devin says, I grew up without a dad. Guess what, Devin? So did I, and I was more attached to him. Now that's not what I'm getting at, because my brother's able to, you know, cope with his anger however he wants. That's not what I'm not trying to point him out for anything, because he can do that. I understand. It's a lot different for me than it is for him. So, I digress back to what I'm talking about. He didn't want anything to do with us. I turned 16, get my license, everything. I'm starting to grow up. I'm starting to move on with my life. And the fact that my dad isn't there doesn't affect me one bit. So he tries coming back into my life. And it's been like this for the last 7 years. Because, yeah, I was 16, 7 years ago. For the last 7 years, he's been poking and prodding to try to become a part of my life. And I wanted to let him back in because that's my father. And I want to be loved by my father. That's all I wanted in life from the time I was 6 years old to, fuck, even now. I just wanted a father there for me. But no, he wasn't able to step up and be a father for me. He wasn't able to be a father for my little brothers. He was more a father for a kid that wasn't even his. And to 2 sisters of mine that aren't even his. Now, I love my stepsisters, although they're not, my dad and their mom are not married anymore. I still love my stepsisters because of the bond I created with them. I have a bond with my stepsister than better bond with my stepsister than I'll ever have with my blood father. With my father. That's saying something. I could never connect with him the way I connected with those two. Or how I've connected with my little brother, not little brother. And they got whatever they wanted, and I get talked shit about because I live with my mother. Guess what? My mother's a better parent than you'll ever be in the next 1,000 years. you'll never be as good a parent as my mom was, raising us as both a mom and a fatherly figure. You don't even understand the level of hatred that I have for my father. For everything. But the amount of love that I also have for him. Because I understand his struggle. I understand that you're not ready to be the father. But we're not even his first kids. He had another, I have an older brother. And he wasn't even part of his life. He dropped him off at my dad dropped his son off at his mother's house. And that's where he's lived. My older brother lives in Montana. And just some of the shit that I've gone through, and I've never told anybody because it's not anybody's business. But to that happens, and today he just flips the fuck out at me at work. I'm standing at work and I'm trying to pull a fence through. There are trees growing through this fence and I'm trying to pull it through there. And he just finds one little thing fucking wrong with the day and he starts freaking the fuck out at me. Starts freaking out at Donald, but he yells at me more because he can make an example of me. Because he knows I'm not just going to start fucking fighting him. But you know what? At the point that you're no longer a father is when I start fighting you. Is when I start throwing fists. He gets up in my face any fucking more, it's going to end a lot worse for him. I don't even give a fuck. I'll beat the shit out of a father, but I'll still respect the soldier in him. And there was a steel bar that could support up to 2,500 pounds, and I wrapped a chain around it like I have 100,000 other fucking times. And today is the day that sets him off. So, something must be going on at home or he just decided to be a complete fucking asshole. So, he gets up in my face and tells me that I'm just lazy. I'm a fat ass. I'm a piece of shit. I'm this, that, and every which way. And you know what? Fuck it. I yell back because fuck him. He's not my boss. He doesn't have any constraint over telling me what I can and can't do. I'm trying my best at work and he just throws it in the ground and goes, oh, well, how come every day I get asked, why doesn't Austin work? Why is Austin standing around? I've never heard this. If somebody at work wants to talk shit, they can fucking talk shit. They can tell me whatever. Don't tell it to an asshole like my fucking father and expect it to be all right. I don't talk to my father. The only reason I talk to him is because I fucking worked with him. Now, and then I'm all over the fucking place right now because of how pissed off I am at the situation. So he's yelling at me and he's like, do you even want this job? He doesn't even know that I have 2 other jobs besides that job. I'm working 3 jobs and he's freaking the fuck out at me. I didn't need that job. So he tells me, he's like, get the fuck out of here. You don't do a fucking thing anyway. When most of the time that I see him working, he's sitting on his ass driving a truck. While me and Donald are out doing fucking everything else that he doesn't want to fucking do. So, fuck him. I walk all the way back from Johnson Road to the front gate of BIR, get my car. I find Dan, and I tell him, be like, Dan, I'm respectfully quitting. I wish it didn't end this way, but what my father said to me is absolute horse shit, and if you guys have a problem with me, to tell me and not him. Don't talk behind my back, because I fucking find out shit. My ability to find out shit, I could literally dig up dirt on the Pope if I fucking wanted to. And he said, fuck what he says. If he keeps acting this way, he's not going to have a job here. Because he's seriously pissing me the fuck off. And this is coming from the maintenance boss. He tells me, Austin, it's alright. Go home, chill out. You're going to work weekends with me. You're just going to be working with me. And I go, well, I don't want to be in an environment where I have to put up with this shit. And he said, don't worry, you're not going to be working with him. You'll never have to work with him again. Just come in on the event weekends and work with me. That way, say there'll be no you intermingling with him, and fuck what he says. What he says is unimportant. Because my dad is one of the most condescending pieces of shit, smart-ass asshole that you'll ever fucking meet. It's, oh, this, that, oh, I know this, when he doesn't know a fucking thing. And Dan calls him out on that, and he gets pissed off when Dan yells at him because he's a fucking idiot. So, I work weekends at BIR now, and that was the plan in the first place. But I was just straight up, I told him, I'm gonna quit. And he goes, just work the weekends with me, it'll be alright. So, this is where I'm at, making this video. But it's just absolute fucking horseshit that my dad thinks he can get away with shit like that. Now, I understand, oh, I'm working all the time. You think I give a fuck what you do? I work 3 jobs and you work 1. Boo fucking who? We work the same fucking hours at that same job. So don't feel that you're entitled to anything when people are working the same amount as you, if not more. All he did yesterday was he stood by and watched as Harley was up in the... Harley is another co-worker at BIR. As Harley chopped down trees, he stood around and worked and moved the fucking skyjack. Ooh, you're doing a lot of fucking work up there moving something around, especially when you're afraid of heights. Oh, goddamn. Holy fucking shit. It's just... people like him are the reason that... there are people that, like me, that just are balls of fucking hate. Like, he's given me this facet to express my anger by having a freedom of speech. He fought for that. Now I'm using that freedom of speech to tell everyone how he's a fucking piece of shit. And he will always continue to be a piece of shit. And the thing is, I'm actually sad that his wife, his current wife, wife number 4, 5, whatever fucking number he's on in wives, I'm actually upset that she has to put up with him day in and day out. Now I understand that it can end in divorce, but I just feel so sorry that she has to be around such a corrosive person. I'm his own son and I can't stand being around him. And it's not, oh, he makes stupid jokes. No, it's he's a straight fucking asshole, and anybody that's ever met my dad will tell you the same fucking thing. So, take from this video whatever you want. Oh, you're just whining about your dad. Oh, you just wanted a reason to quit your job. Oh, this, that, every fucking thing. I don't care what any of you think. Okay, I know what I believe, and I'll hold to that. And I'll hold to, my dad's a complete fucking asshole. And if, seriously, just meet him, and you'll have whatever opinions you want about him. I feel better, actually, for making this video. So, I'm not looking for subscribers. I'm not monetizing this video. So, thanks for hearing out my rant, and have a good day.